You're listening to Rio Radio, the nationally trusted name in real estate investing. We dig deep to discover investors' why in real estate. If you want to skip all the BS and get in investors' heads, you're in the right spot. Be one of the thousands to check out RioRadio.com. Welcome to the Real Estate Rundown. This is episode 263 with Owen and Big Ted. Side story there that you guys don't know. I was in character with my kids all this morning.
As Big Ted, the redneck?
Yeah. Countryman, Big Ted.
Oh, boy. I cannot imagine what it's like growing up in your household, man. Every day is an adventure. We had quite the busy week this week. Let's recap.
Okay, tell me.
Omaha RIA,
Yeah.
Tuesday night, Casey Gregerson.
Pack
crushed.
House.
Yeah. Talked about house flipping, pretty unique method that he has called the Revive method. And can we tease what's going to happen in January?
Yeah, let's do it. It's teasable now.
So we finally have our lineup of hard-hitting speakers for the RIA Mastery Series Flipping Playbook event that we're putting on January 16th at the Aloft Hotel in Omaha. And we've got 5, possibly 6. We can talk about the 5. Yeah. So we have local favorites. Megan, the Tatty Investor Ahern, out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Also out of Lincoln, we have Tucker Pinion, one of our most interesting and highest viewed episodes. A really young guy that has done a whole bunch of stuff in a short amount of time.
Definitely go back and check it. It's 24 years old. Great story.
Great story. We have Clint Bartlett. I had to pledge that I owe him in Godfather style because as he's putting it, I'm dragging him out of retirement here from flipping, but Clint has flipped hundreds and hundreds of houses and wholetailed. So he has done a lot of public speaking. I think everybody that invests in Omaha probably knows who he is.
Retired podcast host.
He had a strong showing of 7 episodes, I think. I might have been the death knell
flipping
of that.
Failure.
Yeah, I had the flipping failure. I think I might have been the last guest.
We even did a live one. Was that it? The live one?
Yes. Yeah. It was at the RIA.
And then I had it's actually on this podcast. And because remember, I'm like, if you don't put that out there, I'm going to put it out because I have the recording.
Yeah. He's like, no, don't.
It's going to go out. And then I was like, nope. After a year and a half,
that was pretty fun. Actually, I had a black eye. I remember that. I just got back from Pinehurst.
It was a good interview. It was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. He did a good job with that. And we've got, let's see, Michael McDonald, formerly of Lincoln, Nebraska, now a transplant to the Las Vegas area, who runs a really large-scale wholesaling and flipping operation remotely. So that's going to be really cool. I think you're going to have an opportunity to learn a lot of different facets of flipping. How do you operate at a large scale? How do you kind of creatively finance things? How do you manage construction crews? How do you use social media as a platform to grow your business? How do you get banks to finance 100% of your deals? You guys, you got to go to this thing. If you have ever wanted to flip a house, if you're flipping houses now, but you just don't know how to scale, all of those questions are going to be answered. We're going to talk about the legal aspects of it. How do you operate? I think we'll touch on the financing part of it. We'll touch on probably, I don't know if we'll get much into taxation, but we'll talk about everything that's involved in owning and operating a flipping business, or how to find your first deal.
And in so many different views of it too.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because each one of the people we invite, besides being a successful flipper, has a different take of doing things. I mean, Tucker's doing a lot of creative financing.
Yep.
And which, I mean, if you listen to the episode, you're definitely going to hear about that. Clint, he's had so many fails and he's really focuses on his fails, but he also taught classes for elite systems specifically on flipping and marketing.
Megan Ahern, she runs the First Deal for Brandon Turner's organization, which helps investors or wannabe investors get over that hurdle of knowledge, education, and experience and get into their first deal. So she has, eaten her own cooking for a long time now with house flips. She's done them with 100% financing from banks. She's fought tooth and nail through some really difficult projects. She has quite the story. And Casey, who was recently in town this week, actually, but he's going to come back for a deeper dive into the systems and processes that enable him to flip right now 70 homes a year, and he's looking to amp that up to 100 in 2026.
And then Michael McDonald, which is, he's just a master of deal flow.
If you work out at the gym at all and been on the treadmill, you've probably seen Michael McDonald's face because he does a lot of TV ads.
5 or 6 times per session.
Exactly. So really, really good mix. We're super excited about this lineup that we have. And we have a mystery guest that I'm going to just, I'll tease it a little bit. He has flipped probably more houses than our whole panel, which is very experienced combined. And he operates out of the Eastern Iowa market. I'm going to leave it kind of at that, but I want to add one more little sprinkle of flavor here. He has basically built pretty much his own Lowe's with buying stuff at steep discounts because of the volume that he's buying materials at, and created a warehouse and a whole system around basically inventory management to supply his own investments. So if any of you pay attention to active flippers in the Iowa, Nebraska area, you probably know who I'm talking about, but we'll announce it officially once I get that baked in.
So check out RIAMasterySeries.com or go to OmahaRIA.com. Go to our calendar. You can click on it and get your tickets. The tickets are only $250 for members of our local RIA and $350 if you're not a member. There's lots of other benefits, lots of fun we do with this. And it's just a series of keynotes. So you're not going to have those breakout sessions. We're really focusing on the speakers. It's a little bit different from a full day event. And we had like 125, 130 people at the last event.
Yep. And that was for mid-sized multifamily. Yeah. So I expect this crowd to be even bigger than that because mid-sized multifamily is very specific, and flipping, a lot of people want to break into the market with their first deal and get that snowball going down the hill. We also have, which by the time this airs, you probably either went to the event or you really missed out on something pretty cool, because Pace Morby, who a lot of people have grown to know and love through his Subject to Investing, is doing a 50-state bus tour with Jamil Damji, and they are going to be at a place in Elkhorn, which this is already aired, so it doesn't matter where it is, but they are going to be talking about subject to creative financing and partnering with people in local markets. So how you can partner with Pace and Jamil in creative financing deals from Omaha, so right in your backyard. So for any of you that went to that, I'm sure it was awesome. I'm going to be there pretty much most of the day and evening tomorrow. So I'm lucky. Yeah, because I'll Liquid Lending, my hard money lending business, is sponsoring one of the sponsors of that event, along with Levin Wealth Capital. So that'll be a lot of fun and super looking forward.
We're an advertising sponsor.
Oh, you are? Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, we're been promoting it also, and I will be there, but I wasn't planning to show up till about 5.
Okay. Last but not least, who did we just finish with today, Ted?
Oh my goodness, AJ Osborne, been on our
dream list of that Ted put together here recently.
But he was on the original board.
Yeah,
from the other place.
We used to have a whiteboard at our old studio that had our dream podcast guest names on it, and now we can cross another one off.
Yes.
And we've been pretty fortunate to get some really heavy hitters on here, including Brandon Turner, Jay Scott, now AJ Osborne, a lot of other Pace Morby, and so on and so on. So this was a really satisfying episode, and he talked about a lot of things that you probably have never heard him talk about before. He's had 3 podcasts now, between hosting himself and being a co-host on Drunk Real Estate. He has written 2 books on self-storage and has assembled a portfolio of over $350 million in assets under management for his portfolio of businesses. Started a tech company, if not more than one, specific to self-storage. And the knowledge that comes out of this guy's mouth, literally, you could just sit back and listen to him talk for an entire day and not know it all.
Which we kind of did.
Which we did.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
The big question is do we separate into 2 episodes or one? Because we got almost 2 hours of content out of it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so really, really, really raw, entertaining, and knowledge-filled episodes. So I think you guys are going to love it.
I listened to probably 15 hours of his podcast recently, but we have listened to all of the Drunk Real Estate that he's been on and stuff like that, but just consuming. And I really think, honestly, that you got the most rounded information about him hitting various topics that you will, hear of any interview he's ever done. Period.
I can't say I disagree with that. We'll pat ourselves in the back
because
a little bit.
In the next best one would have been Brandon Turner's Better Life one. Yep. But he really just focused on one segment of his life, and we definitely rounded it out, and it is phenomenal. I think you're going to love it. I can't wait to see how many downloads we get on this.
Me too, man. Well, I have a golden nugget to share with you. You want to hear it?
Of course I do.
Okay, I got to give props to Jay Cathell, my buddy, who's been on with his fiance Ashley. I don't remember the episode.
When did they get engaged?
A while back.
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
But so Jay shared with me something for you local listeners to the Omaha and surrounding areas. If you invest on the Iowa side of the river, there's some legislation or some regulations, some changes that you need to be aware of. And I was not aware of this, surprisingly, because I do own some real estate on the Iowa side. So here's what's happening. There is a lead service line rule that is put into place over the next 10 years, forcing Iowa municipalities to replace lead, and I think it's what is it? Okay, so lead lines, lead supply lines, these are commonly found in houses that were built or properties that were built prior to 1940, but it is possible to have lead service lines, and obviously anybody knows anything about really anything knows that lead is not good to have in your drinking water, right?
True.
So they're requiring over that period of time these municipalities to replace these lead service lines with more modernized plumbing equipment. What does that mean for you? That means that you may potentially be on the hook for a really large chunk of, I'm talking thousands of dollars. They're estimating, and this probably is highly variable depending on the town, but $10,000 to $15,000 per water line replacement. That's a lot.
That's a
now, what if you have 20 properties, more than that, whatever, right? It's a big number, even if you only have one, but if you have a bunch,
hopefully you can spread it out.
That is a gigantic CapEx bomb that you're going to have to handle in a short order. Now, okay, so what do? Let's say you get this news and you're like, oh crap, I should check on this. Iowa has received over $30 million in dedicated federal funding for lead line replacements. So that means there are grants available potentially in certain cities, and some like Dubuque, Iowa, for example, and Des Moines has a pilot program rolling out where they're giving $5,000 forgivable loans. So I would liken this to the PPP loans during COVID. So forgivable loans for the purpose of replacing those water lines. Look into this, and here's the steps you need to take. So here's your action steps for owners and potential lenders on properties. So contact your local water utility to confirm whether the service line material is lead or not, or unknown for each property. And if it's unknown, they're probably going to replace it anyway. So unknown or lead, you need to pay attention to this. Number 2, ask whether your address is in a disadvantaged area or a DAC, and that determines grant eligibility. Number 3, enroll in a local replacement or survey program to get on the city's list early on, unless you don't have thousands of dollars laying around or can't figure out the grant part. And then number 4, underwrite the replacements in older neighborhoods as part of rehab budgets or loan contingencies. So something to be aware of. This is happening right now, and it's going to be continued to roll out over the next 10 years in various cities in and around Iowa. I would imagine this is probably going to be a more widespread thing nationwide. I just don't know how quickly that's going to happen and which states are going to jump on board early or not.
Oh, and here's a fun stat. You mentioned Jay Cathell.
I did.
And Ashley Wells. Do you remember the episode number they were on?
No.
67. You want to know what their rank is for?
What's the rank?
They are the 7th highest viewed podcast.
Wow.
That we've ever had. I knew they were top 10, but I didn't know where.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty impressive.
You want to know who they were in order real quick?
Okay. Let's read them off.
Brandon Turner.
Okay. No surprise.
Dan Zimmerman. Brandon Turner, the first episode 60.
Yep.
Dan Zimmerman. Jeff Hurst, the CEO of Furnish Finder.
That's cool.
Terry Shanahan, the first episode.
That was so good.
Ryan Basie.
Oh, yeah. He is a fan favorite.
Colin Schwartz, his first time on.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Cathell.
Yep.
Drew Zaruba.
That was a fun. 6 feet construction.
Sam Tevis.
Uh-huh.
Ben Cat.
Nice. Top 10. All right.
Yeah.
So we got a nice mix of locals and national personalities in there. So
there's actually more locals in there than
what's fun though, guys, is now that we're 260 plus episodes into this, what's old is new again. So we encourage you to go back and listen to some of these bangers, and don't be afraid to give us a 5-star review along the way.
And if you haven't noticed, we've been actually trying to revisit all of our top 10 people.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see the progress they've made over the last 2, 3, 4 years.
Dan committed to come back on. He's doing some business changes. He wants to get that locked in first before he comes on.
Dog washing.
We had Terry Shanahan on. We've had Brandon Turner back on.
Colin Schwartz.
We've had Colin Schwartz. We haven't had Ryan Basie back on. We haven't had Cathell back on.
Let us know. Reach out. Maybe leave us a comment on our Instagram page. Who do you want to get back on and hear their latest goings on?
Better yet, just leave us a 5-star review and put it in the comments.
There we go.
We could use. Remember when it was a big deal when we had episode 100? We're like, we want 100 5-star reviews. Yep. Since then, we've only gotten 40 more.
So lame.
Get on our Apple, give us a review. It means the world to us. We want to be competing with the bigger dogs. So we have better podcasts than them. We have better guests than them. So there's no reason why we're not there.
I got some exciting news that's coming up here. By the time this airs, it will already happen. But my long-awaited opening of our Branson Hotel conversion project is slated to happen next Friday, the day after my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And I will probably be in Branson celebrating my birthday with the ribbon cutting.
A lot different than last year.
Yeah, a little different than Vegas. But that's pretty exciting. This is a pretty big deal for me and our company together. So
I was supposed to closing on a car wash, and
is that happening?
It was supposed to close today.
Oh.
And the appraisal still hasn't come. They did the appraisal, but it hasn't come back yet.
Got it.
And then the bank I'm working with, and I won't drop the name of the bank, it's like, hey, well, the bank just had a huge portfolio of car washes fail, and they're eating it. And then now,
oh no.
And there's also behind that, there's a whole bunch of environmental studies that are coming up.
I might know who the failed car washes are.
Yeah, and so with the failed car wash company that this bank has taken on, they said the president's really ill on car washes at the moment.
Okay,
so they're like, because of that, are going to want 30% down instead of the 20 they quoted me.
Of course,
and they're only willing to do 15-year term versus a 20-year that we negotiated. So I did reach out to another bank, a local sponsor of our group, UMB Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked them, like, hey, are you guys ill on car washes? Because I need a backup plan.
Ill and
yeah. And they're like, oh, we would probably do a 25-year on that.
Okay.
And 20% down.
Is this going to screw up your ability to buy it? Being that it's delayed, like you're good.
He seems really reasonable so far.
Okay.
And right now I'm just looking at this backup because that's not for sure that's going to be the terms, but it's looking like it's going to go that way. So I'm starting the process with somebody else just so if in case.
Sure. Yeah.
And
smart.
And I'm open with both parties. I told both parties what's going on. And I think that if you want to be able to save face, have continued relationships with your bankers you're working with, you can't hide this because somebody's going to do a lot of work and get really pissed off and not work with you in the future if you're not very transparent.
Yeah. Hey, the whole banking thing, that reminded me of something that I was going through this week. So I made a LinkedIn post about this yesterday, but I was going through and updating my personal financial statements and rent rolls and doing those things. And I should do this more often. This just reminded me that I did, but it's so painful to update this thing. So I'm going through and I'm plugging in basically all the properties and loan amounts and loan payments and insurance costs and taxes and all those things, right? And I'm waiting on a few because I have different partners. So the data doesn't all come from one source. I have to kind of wait for people to get me what I need. And then I have to go back and get more and blah, blah, blah. So I get this and I plug it in and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this seems super high. I had a loan that on an asset we bought last year, a townhome community, and the payment was not quite double what it should be. And I started digging into that and I'm like, what is this? Why is this like this? And come to find out, for the last couple of months, the property was on an interest-only loan until I think month 12, and then it kicked over to an amortizing, 20 or 25 year AM schedule. So then you're paying principal and interest. But what happened was they never converted it in their system, or they had some type of system glitch, and we were getting charged both. So we're not only paying on the one loan, we were paying on the new loan, both amounts, and it was like double the payments. And thank goodness I checked that. I happened to check it because of timing. And that just reminded me, like, you have to be your own CFO, even if you have somebody sitting in that seat, because you got to double check even when you have somebody double checking. There are stuff that happens, and the bigger you get, the more properties you have, the more common it is that there's going to be mistakes that can cost you thousands and thousands, if not more, of dollars. So that was a kind of a, I don't know, that was a little scary to see that, but they're correcting it. It's not going to be an issue. It's just one of those things, man. I
had the opposite this week where I'm housing an insurance situation. One of the insurance companies paying me, and I get double payments on the same day on rent. And then they call me up like, hey, they call me up like 2 weeks later. And they're like, oh, we noticed that we've double paid you, and you want to go ahead and wire that back to us. I'm like, how about you just keep it there for simplicity's sake, and we'll just call it good for next month. Like, okay, I guess we can make that work too. I'm like, okay, good.
You're like, because daddy's going to Vegas with that money.
Let's go, baby.
Oh, that's funny. All right, man. Well, what else you got? Anything?
No, you have a long podcast coming up on Wednesday, so we might as well spare you today. And we appreciate you guys. Like I said, leave us a review and appreciate your support. Follow us on our socials. We're on Instagram. We are on Facebook, RIA Radio, and YouTube, where we do have, almost 300 videos on there. So there's a ton of content on there. So check it out.
Yeah, give us a follow on YouTube. We need some more followers.
Yeah. We appreciate that. But with that, Owen Dashner, we see us out.
On behalf of Aiden Bear, RIA Radio, and Ted Kosh, Big Ted. I'm Owen Dashner. I'm Owen Dashner, and you've been listening to the Real Estate Rundown. Sign off.
Yeah.